Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you an application which I deployed on my AKS cluster, and I will show you how you can utilize ElasticSearch, Fluent D and Kibana. So I've created the resource group. Within this resource group I created an AKS cluster. Please note that I specify the size of the VMs. I need a machine with at least about 8 gigs of memory, and then I got the credentials for communicating to the API server. So what I'm going to do now is I cloned the repository. I'm going to the ElasticSearch Fluent D folder, and I'm going to label all the nodes. You can see that I cheated. I already did this, so it will give an error. If you do it the first time, you won't see this error. So the second thing what I will do is execute the ElasticSearch script. So let's have a quick peek in what this script is doing. I'm creating a new namespace for this demo. It's easy for cleaning up. This is stuff when I was experimenting with the file storage. So within Azure you got managed disks, and you can also use Azure File as a piece of blob storage. Then I'm deleting the default storage class, and I'm creating my own storage class, and the definition of the storage class is defined in this file, which is in the same folder. Then I'm creating a stateful set, which is one of the Kubernetes entities, where you basically so you got replica sets and replica sets, for example, which are stateless. And with a stateful set, basically what you do is you assign a piece of storage to a certain node, and this is called a stateful set. Then I'm going to expose the ElasticSearch service. So let's see what I've done. You see it's now being deployed. I switched to this namespace by doing AKS, or sorry, by kubectl config use context. Then the name of the cluster is AKS demo cluster, and the namespace I will set to EFK demo. So now when I'm using the kubectl and I do get pods, I'm in the namespace of the EFK demo. So the second part what I'm going to do, or the third part, is configuring Fluent D. So let's have a quick look in the Fluent D config. Here you see I have a config map, and I have the service, or the daemon set. So on every node I'm installing this Fluent D daemon, and this daemon is basically a pipeline where the logging is written to. So in the past we had Logstash, or it still exists, but now more and more people are using Fluent D. If you have a quick peek in the config, you will see that, let's go here to the Fluent D config map, that here I have configured an input source, and besides that it's also listening to the output of the containers. And here you see that my output of the Fluent D is into the ElasticSearch database. So this is the service which is on the Kubernetes side, and the service will be listening to port 9200, and that's the service I just created with the first script, or the second script. The last part what I'm going to do is install Kibana, and when I have a look, I will wait till everything is running, and then I come back to you. So let's have a look. I see that all the pods are running now. Let's see how it's going with the services. Here you see that I have an internal ElasticSearch database internally available, and it's available on port 9200. And you can see that I made a public endpoint for the Kibana for this demo, and this one is listening on port 5600. So let's open this. And usually it needs to do some indexing before that, and that usually also takes a couple of minutes of time. In the meantime, I'm having a look at the logging of ElasticSearch. See if it's, yeah, that's fine. Let's see if we have stuff, if Kibana is doing stuff. Yes, it is. So let's give Kibana some time now. So Kibana loaded the page, and the initial page you will see it's the create button, and this is for creating the index. So here you see that it has several index patterns. That's fine. No, that's fine by me. Okay, so I'm going to the discover, see if I already have some entries in my Elasticsearch database. I do. So let's see what we have here. One of the cool things in Kibana is basically that you have the discover button, and this discovery, it's a filter over all your loggings. Then you can have plugins where you can visualize your queries. So in the first part you create your queries, and the second part you can use those queries and visualize them with several charts. And in the third part you can design a dashboard where you use this chart that you have created in the step before. So let's go over step by step, and let's first start by creating a query that only uses the namespace for our EFK demo. So what we can do is say, okay, here I'm only interested in the namespace, and I'm interested in what's being logged. And then I will say I'm only interested in the namespace EFK demo, and I can just use this one. So as you might know, Elasticsearch is using Lucene, and Lucene has, yeah, I find it a quite complex syntax, but with this buttons it's quite easily to create a query. You can also click on this one, and here you got the syntax for Elasticsearch. So here you see that I created a query for the EFK demo. So let's go to the next step and actually create my Game of Thrones application. It's a wonderful application where you can vote on your favorite Game of Thrones house. So first we're going to create a new namespace named GOT Web App. So let's have a quick look. So here we are creating a new namespace. Within this namespace we are creating Redis. We're just pulling Redis from the Docker Hub, and then we're exposing Redis under this port only internally. Let's see, let's then actually deploy the application by execute got.sh. Let's have a quick look here. So this is stuff I already did. You will find the source code for this thing here. It's basically a Python app that uses Flask, and it loads the pictures from this folder, static GOT. And here you see that I have Erin, Baratheon, Dorne, the Lannisters, Stark, and of course the Targaryens. So yeah, let's see how we are going. And of course I'm now interested in a different namespace. I'm interested in the namespace of the web app. And here I see that it's already running. Let's see if we have services available as well. So here you see I've exposed the GOT web app under this public IP under port 5000. Let's have a quick look. 5000. Namespace is GOT web app. Okay. So basically what I'm doing here is you can vote on your favorite house. Now let's just click on a couple of them. Oh, I should click on the proper one. Start. I see that my layout is a little bit off. But basically this will all generate logging if you have a look in the source code. Up the PY. The only thing what I'm doing is I'm configuring basic config. I'm using the standard out. And here every time I click on the Erin or Stark, I'm logging a message somebody liked the Erins or the Starks or Baratheon family. So it's not the most nice. I will see if I can improve the layout a little bit, but the idea is clear, right? So of course we like to see this logging back in Kibana. So let's change this query and change the namespace. Instead of EFK demo, we do GOT web app. And here you see all the log messages which occurred in my namespace. So what I want to do is save this query, and I will say Game of Thrones favorite families. Let's save it. Then I'm going to create a visualization, and I'm going to create first of all a gauge. This gauge is using this query. You see that there are currently 54 messages already. I'm going to save this. Game of Thrones gauge logging. I don't know how to pronounce it. Sorry for that. The second thing I'm going to create. So let's go back here. Visualize. I'm going to create another one, and here I want to see an overview of all the families, and I'm using again this query. But what I'm doing now is I'm going to split the chart, and I'm going to use filters, and the first filter will be log, and in the log I expect Stark. Let's add the filter. Then I'm going to do log, and I'm going to do the same for Targaryen. Then I'm going to do the same for Targaryens. And then I'm going to do the same for the Tullys. And of course the Lannisters. Of course, Lannisters. I see I made a spelling error there. So who did we miss? The Starks, the Tullys, the Tyrells. For now I think we're fine. Of course we have the Greyjoys and whatever. So Targaryens, let's see what happens. I haven't clicked enough. So let me click here on a couple of Starks, a couple of Baratheons, a couple of Dorns. Oh, the Dorns, the Dorns is there. The Baratheons, the Lannisters. So let's see what happens now. Let's save it. Favo, Fems, save. So here we got the Starks, they have 5, the Lannisters have 3. I should have more, right? So here I have my overview of all the families, but I don't like these colors, to be honest. So what I'm going to do is create a new visualization, also a vertical bar. I'm going to again to the same query, but then instead of split chart I will use split series, and here again I will use filters. Here I will say log Starks, add filter, then I like to have a log on the Lannisters, then I would have to log on Targaryens, add a filter, and I would like to have a log on Baratheons, and then a log on the Greyjoys, then the Tullys as well, and then Tyrells. I think I have them all then, Tyrells. So I am missing one, am I not? It's the Baratheons, the Greyjoys. The Greyjoys don't have any votes. Let me vote for them. Okay, they have a couple of votes. Let's see. Greyjoys. Maybe I made a typo. Let's have a look. Let's first save it. So Game of Thrones families colored. Now I think you get the picture, right? Let's not spend too much time on this. So now we're going to create a dashboard, and in the dashboard I'm going to use the colored visualization. Then I'm going to use the gauge as well, and I will save this and migrate dashboard. So let's save it. So what I like to do here is I like to see the log files, the last, let's say the last 4 hours, and I like to do the reporting. Sorry, what I want to do is refresh it every 10 seconds. I like to have a fresh screen. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have one screen open with this visualization, and the other screen has my wonderful Game of Thrones app. So I'm going to close this. So I will put some votes out. I will vote for the Starks. So here you see that I'm voting for the Starks. So the Starks are the brown ones. They should have grown. They are now 7. And now they're 16. And let's go for the... Nah, I cannot vote for the Lannisters, sorry. For the Greyjoys then. Let's give them a couple of votes as well. And you should see that within 10 seconds you see that the Greyjoys... I probably made a mistake here. So let's see what the mistake is. Show you some troubleshooting. So we're looking here. Here you see the Greyjoys is a different spelling. So I'm going to the visualization. Here I'm going to here log Greyjoys. So let's have it like this. Save it here. So now I see something happening. Then I will save it. Save. Let's go back to the dashboard, and now you see it has been changed as well. So let's do the last thing. Let's give the Okay, let's give a couple to the Lenuses as well, and a couple to the Gracious. Now you should see it here appearing very soon. So as you can see, it's a pretty powerful tool for application logging. Hope you guys like the demo. All the source code is available in GitHub. If you have any questions, please give me an email. Have a nice day and a good evening.